All right, guys, after a rather sad episode 7 or 11 of the Duck Chronicles Season 2, I figured I'd at least get some video while I'm out here with the camera of some better things. So if you didn't see episode 11 of the Duck Chronicles, we lost Buddy the Goose. She went down and passed away. And not sure why, but it is a farm. Things like that happen. Life goes on. What I wanted to show you here now is the install that we did at the workshop. I did a video of this field kind of outlining what the design would be like before it was done. And now that the design is in, everything except the tree planting anyway, I wanted to show it to you. You get down here where we didn't use the machine at all, and you can see we still have this beautiful ryegrass crop that came in. And we reseeded everything, and as you can see, it's quite wet. It rained last night. This was like the first workshop ever where rain cooperated. It wet things up a little bit the day before, or the week before, enough to make the dirt really easy to work with and dry up enough that it was easy to work with. And then the rain went away and the sun came out and it was beautiful weather in the 50s, and the students got out here and they got on it. And we knocked this design out, and you can see now it's exactly what I had talked about. 7 risers on each one, a 6-foot wide berm, 6 inches deep in the center. It was really easy too to keep the consistency of the depth. We had the pipe in the ground already, and all we did was mark the pipe at 6 inches with a Sharpie. So when the students got the dirt to that level, that we had with a nice, beautifully shaped, really gently sloped, and that is deep. I don't want to walk over there because it's muddy over there right now, but that is a really deep straw mulch. It's probably, 6-7 inches of straw mulch on top of there. It was all done with compost. I have a few yards left over, and that's great. Everything was seeded with a really great cover crop as I walk through the muck and mud here. And the centers were seeded with a little bit of a cover crop, mostly ryegrass. Again, we want it to look like that in a couple of weeks, and it probably will. That ryegrass can handle our late fall cold temperatures no problem and still germinate well. It's our main grass people use just for lawns here for overseeding. And that'll give nature something to work with. So what's in the berms right now? Garlic, onions, a vegetable mix that includes turnips and chard and some other things, and a cover crop that's made up of medics and clovers and oats and wheat and barley and rye and a few other things. We also laid down a straw layer of 3 bales of straw to each 50-foot berm first, and then the compost went on that. So this is really like almost like a lasagna guard sheet mulching and a strip thing going on here to give an organic matter kick. And on top of that first straw mulch, we put down some dried molasses to feed microorganisms. We put down a fertilizer called MicroLife, and then we put down in each one a pound of King Strophoria mushroom spawn right on that straw. Then we covered that over. Then we top mulched it after we seeded it. And everything's ready to go now. Right now, all the watering is manual. I have to go over there, and we have a straight valve at each sector that I can turn on. But we did run 10 conductor wire to a distribution point, and then 7 conductor wire from there. And you can see we have the wire buried right up to here. This is the 10 conductor wire. And that means we'll be able to house our irrigation controller inside this little 12 by 16 foot bed that's like basically the dughouse right now. So yeah, not the best morning to wake up to losing a goose that's been part of your flock for 3 years that you raised from a baby. But, again, this is life as a farmer, life as on a farm. And it's a cycle. It's a cycle of death and renewal. And this field is an example of a resurrection. This is what we can do with restoration style agriculture. We can come into something like this that was a few weeks ago was brown. That wasn't even down there. That wasn't green. There wasn't a living thing in this field except that little clump of oak trees up there. And by spring, this will be banging with 200 black locust trees planted way too close to each other for eternity. And those trees themselves will be killed. There'll be 200, and then in the next season there'll be 100. And the following season there'll be 50. The following season there'll be about 25, and by then there'll be some productive trees in the system as well. And those trees will form the basis of fencing. And that fencing will allow us to actually paddock different animals in and out of here for some other forms of small livestock. Those animals will be meat animals, so they'll complete their cycle, and I'm going to get Fox and bring him back over where he belongs, but they'll complete their cycle. And once that's done, from that point, they've actually renewed the earth. And that is farming, guys. It's a life and death cycle. And that means you have to be a steward of life and death. That's a pretty big responsibility. I think maybe we should look at farmers with a little bit more reverence. With that, I'll catch up with you soon with another video.